Hi, it's Govinderson, 1984, Governor of 84 Iron OSNSTEA Limited, and I just wanted to do a blog because I think it'd be helpful for the local community. It's about study centres, tutorial centres for dropouts, school dropouts, children who've been expelled from school or refused to go to school. As a vulnerable teenager, I also left school, dropped out of school, and I ended up in a study centre tutorial. And the experience I experienced in that school was very different from mainstream school. I had classroom people in my class who were pregnant at the age of 14, people doing heroin in the toilets, popping ecstasy pills, smoking marijuana. It's just a completely different world in the study centre tutorial centre. But I'm 37 years old now, and that's not good. That's tragic for young people to have to experience or go through that. So I just wanted to share a blog regarding if OSNSTEA Limited, which is my dormant company, if it was a study centre, a tutorial centre in education, this is how I conduct a lesson. I'd open the classroom door, lead everyone in, let them all make their way into the classroom, sit at their tables, get comfortable, and when they all settle down, I'll close the classroom door, lock it, and then I'll open the slot like a prison door. Yep, I'm not fucking about. I'm fitting a prison door into the classroom of the study centre, and I'll open that prison slot and say, "Listen, you little son of a bitch, you motherfuckers, this is where you lot are gonna fucking end up. So what's the point of wasting or beating around the bush or wasting time? Let's get to the fucking point. You lot fucking about the way you're fucking about, it's gonna end up you ending up in fucking prison." And I'll open the prison door in the study centre classroom, and I'll come into the classroom, sit down, put the chairs in a circle, and I'll say, "We're all going to be handcuffed." They're like, "No, not me, no. Let's just do this for fucking role play purposes, yeah?" So if I was a study centre teacher, I would say I want all my students handcuffed. Now you got some students who were very violent in school, very bullyish and bullied people, that's why they got expelled. They fought teachers and got expelled. You know, drug dealers who weren't very violent but sold drugs got expelled. But then you've got people who are very quiet, church mouse, don't make a sound, cause no one problems in school, but they just refuse to go to school because they have a crisis at home. But I don't give a shit, we're all getting handcuffed regardless of our circumstances. So imagine we're all sitting in the study centre tutorial for dropouts, and we all get handcuffed. Now I have to conduct a lesson. Now on the board, I'm going to write tax. This is the lesson. What I want to get into the heads is, this is the sort of lesson you're going to be given inside prison. So we might as well give them a heads up. Because all the people I went study centre, 95% ended up in prison. I didn't go to prison. I was around that environment, but I was a jammy cunt who got away with this shit. But 95% ended up in prison for some very violent shit. So when they're all handcuffed in my study centre, they're not prisoners, they're not going to jail, but we're going to handcuff them for role-playing purposes. On the board, I'm going to write tax, T-A-X, and this is how I conduct my lesson. Working people, not just in Britain, throughout the world, generate a revenue. And part of this revenue they take home as an income, and a percentage of that income gets taxed. So tax is vital, it's mandatory. Now I'll draw a pie chart, a circle, and I'll draw 50-50, I split into two. And I'll start putting segments, pizzas, of where the tax gets delegated and where the budgets go to. So when the government taxes the workers, it goes to education, the environment we are in. We've got a budget, we've got a slice of the pie, we've got a slice of the budget of the money that comes to us in education. It goes to the healthcare, hospitals, dentists, surgeries, GP. So if you ever have a problem, you need to see a doctor, GP, need an operation, you need to go to A&E, there's money that covers that, ambulance is there. It goes to the fire brigade. If there's ever a fire, the fire brigade, the fire engine will be on its way to put out the fire. It should be going towards, it goes to housing. If there's no, people don't have homes, single mothers, people get housed, get a room, studio flat. So the money's going towards society. And it also goes, well, it should be going towards transport, but that's a different debate because of privatisation, like trains, buses, tubes, but it doesn't go to that at this current moment. And then where else does it go? It goes to the police, and this is where all the crowdy, the students, fuck the police, defund the police, don't put money towards the fucking police, fuck them, fucking cunts, fucking pigs. Now you're gonna hear this sort of fucking rejection, but that's a dumb attitude to have, thick attitude to have, and I used to have that attitude. The sectors that the money of tax goes towards is mandatory a functioning society, whether it's education, fire brigade, hospitals, NHS and police. A functioning society, that's where the money must be put towards before anything. Not a royal tribute to a fucker who sits on his high horse thinking he's owed something because he thinks he's better than everyone and superior to everyone, that he should have a royal tribute. I'm not talking about royal tribute bullshit, royalist tax. I'm talking Republican public sector mandatory tax, council tax, poll tax, or not poll tax, national insurance, vital for a functioning society. Now we're going to focus on the money that's generated for the workers that gets put towards the police force. Now, if you know my story from Isleworth and Zion to work my life, I've experienced racism that derailed or put my life on a completely different journey that it would have otherwise not been on. I hate racism. So whereas I used to listen to Tupac and my uncle used to listen to NWA, fuck the police, I used to have that attitude as a teenager, fuck the police, fuck the police. But I'm 37 years old now. My attitude has shifted, it's changed. Whereas I used to say fuck the police, I now say fuck certain styles of policing. And I'll write on the board, fuck certain styles of policing. Now what sort of styles of policing will we say can go to hell and go fuck themselves? Racist policing, brutality policing, planting evidence on innocence policing, manipulating evidence policing, bribery policing. Fuck that shit. And I will say to all my students in the study centre, if you ever experience that sort of policing or judges or lawyers or that sort of system in society, you rebel and stand up for your rights. Don't put up with that shit. Fight that shit, rock that shit. Fuck certain styles of policing, and that's the sort of style of policing that can go fuck themselves. Now what about the style of policing that does not police them? That doesn't police based on race, sexuality, gender or religion, doesn't discriminate against that sort of things in society, that doesn't plant evidence, that doesn't manipulate evidence, it's not brutal, doesn't seek to take out or kill someone but to neutralise a distressing situation for neutralisation rather than elimination. The police that don't police like that. Now I don't have a problem with the establishment, the sector that gets taxed, just like the fire brigade and the NHS and the housing and the tax that goes towards policing that do not police like that. If they don't police like that, in my personal situation, my personal experience, and I've experienced that sort of shit, is then I don't have a problem. But if they do police like that, then what? Then there's going to be a rut. Then we're going to fuck them up, then we're going to fuck them up, then we're going to fight them. But if they don't police like that, then there's no problem. But now you're sitting in a study centre, all handcuffed. 14, 15-year-old students all sitting there in a lesson handcuffed. Because what if the judge, who's not a racist, who doesn't plant evidence, who doesn't manipulate evidence, who doesn't frame innocent people, who's not racist, who's not prejudiced, who's from a working class upbringing, who studied law and now a barrister, but wants to put you away because you want to get your dip in. You want to stab someone for clout. You want to beat someone up so people know your name around the neighbourhood as someone not to fuck with. And they say, I'm going to put you behind bars. Who does that fall on? Now they're going, fuck the system, fuck police, fuck the courts. No, fuck you for your ignorant, immature behaviour. Now I personally don't want to see my students get put into jail. I want them to be put on house arrest if they are a danger or a threat. Why house arrest? Because I want you to be home and your mum comes home from work to cook dinner for you, help your mum, sit together and have a meal. I want you to be with your mother and your father, or if your father's not there, I want you to be with your loved ones in your home environment. But when they throw the book at you because you're being a prick and say I'm putting him in a detention centre because he's going to kill someone with his hot-headed violent behaviour. Imagine your mum dies in a car accident or has a heart attack or health problems and she dies while you're in prison. Now I don't want that for you. Because if you're in prison and your loved one dies, you're going to be like, fuck everything and fuck the world and everything in it. But whose fault is it? When it's not a racist police, not a racist judge or a racist law, or brutal or planting evidence or framing innocence. Someone who doesn't police or judge like that or advocate like that, but wants you in a detention centre. That falls on American gangster rap, drill music that's poisoned your young vulnerable mind to behave like a fucking bell-end fucking idiot. Now people, even study centre teachers, I'm a sort of study centre teacher that they would want to throw the book at me for some shit, for things that the way I view things and the way I want to explain myself in my blogs. There's things people aren't keen on and not happy about. So a lot of you need to think really, really hard in regards to this violent nature of wanting to hurt someone for reputation, to be known as someone not to fuck with. Fuck that mentality. Because people won't wait for people like that to murder their children in knife crime or stab them to get their dip in, so someone receives bad news that their loved one's been killed in knife crime. They'll put them away in an instant. So think about it. We've all made mistakes. I used to carry a Rambo dagger knife when I was 16. 37 years old now, I don't carry no weapons. So behave. Think very hard. So that's Governor of 84 RM OSNSTEA Limited. Peace.